We don't need more of those than necessary. Yes, I did, Mina. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crimes, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, where was the defendant? What was the defendant doing at the time? Boobs. I mean, don't you guys keep your rocket launchers and stuff in your cleavage? What? Haven't you seen enough anime to know that it's possible? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 9 inches long. Let's see. Yeah, we can't see more details about that. That does not surprise me, Mina. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife after all. Yes, that sounds about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify about her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, right? We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our head cool and press the witness of it, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me more calm. Don't smile like that! Okay, so we have... So, the problem we have here is that the pictures he took was... This is after the moment of the crime. Excuse me. Do we have the floor plan? We did. Oh. Holding a knife in her right hand, huh? Wait a minute. Wasn't this... Okay, she has gloves, so there's no mystery as to why she doesn't have she doesn't have the knife doesn't have prints on it. The problem is I know like the next part, what the contradiction is in the next part of the testimony, because I remember it, but this part I can't remember, which is annoying. Actually, never mind, it is where we have this one. Let's see. What are you doing with YouTube open? Are you looking at spoilers? Let's see. Point a tip into Goodman's chest. The moment of the crime. But I think it's this one. I can't remember. I believe it's this one because she is not holding a knife here. I actually don't know. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. Aha. I don't know what Techno is tisking at. I mean, she is playing Minecraft, or she was playing Minecraft earlier. She's now
I was doing that when you said you can't remember.
Oh. yes, she is Pigs. Just roll with it. We have hammer space. Don't tell the guys. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Not holding a knife. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken at the moment before the stabbing. This was taken at the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? We do have a better idea, because that's not what happened. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said earlier in the testimony. Namely, that she took the picture at the moment she witnessed the crime. Stupid phone. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hand in the photograph. Well, those are gloves. Surgical gloves, made from thin rubber most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? Which makes no sense, because she found the knife in Edgeworth's trunk, so... These gloves seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. And this knife itself proves otherwise. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, the red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. This is the cheap... Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Why would you bring a child, to spectate on a murder case? I mean... Like... Seriously. I don't know. The defense has a request. We ask the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, don't you forget about the weapon. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I know. But that was a witness, not to just sit around and look at the, like, spectate the court. Order! 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 Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you will be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Pah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care about that is the lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she had planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. I mean, Edgeworth doesn't care. All he cares about is a guilty verdict. You don't forget about the murder. The fact to get the murder weapon unless you are in the current administration. Oh my nah. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive a human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does seem like a lot of premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may cross-examine the witness now. Hiccups, huh? Okay, so so if you remember, like, I checked the court record earlier. So, no, she did not plunge the knife in again and again because one knife wound... Onions are amazing though. Onions are the best. It's just too bad that we can't really have it too much. Well, I need to pickle them to be able to, for Tenno to be able to eat them. But pickled onions are also amazing. Speaking of which, I need to pickle a bunch of onions. I have onions in my fridge. I just need to pickle. Yes, they are required for that. They are required for so many things. A proper ragu needs onions. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid though moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report says that death was due from loss of blood from one stab wound. Oh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness. You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Spattered blood from her victim. That is why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. So... yeah, Phoenix is just screaming at the top of his lungs. So... we already, like, there's nothing else we say here, but... see something missing here? There's no muffler here. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or a muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proven it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professionally lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations! Perhaps you found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good! This judge. Oh. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What about my objection? What was my objection? A chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that. But something red, really. Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well. Witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime scene and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Even a heel slut? What? Am I reading this right, TC? Okay. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. You didn't miss anything except for Edgeworth putting shots at her, and Phoenix objections just falling on deaf ears because Edgeworth is stealing the show. You accuse me of so many things, Mina. Oh no, like if people don't do what I want whenever I play a healer, they die. Like seriously, if they stand in the fire, I'll just let them die. They get heals after I step out of the fire. This testimony might be just be the moment of truth. Oh, after the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I used to be. I mean, I have played all three roles. I have played range DPS, melee DPS, healer, and I played tank. And when I played World of Warcraft, like super seriously, in the last expansion, I was the tank. I was the main tank. I was playing Blood Death Knight because who the hell needs a healer? Just out heal all the healers because Death Knights are cool. But I also did healing for the main raid from time to time. I quickly caught her, explained to her her rights, and arrested her on the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, the resistance is futile. It could be just you, because it's fine for me. You are quite determined about this scar, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, cobra's a kind of snake. Don't bother me with the details unless you want to be bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but all of her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. So the problem here is that there's a big partition going on. You say quickly, you were close to a suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Yes, we press her because this is not accurate. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunch line car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link in the fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing. The cough-up queen. Lunch lady athlete, indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, the field was about 9 feet high too. So, how did Miss Sky not get away? So, Pix, there is a thing on YouTube. I actually saw that one a long time ago because, like, I like Phoenix Wright, but there is a My Little Pony Phoenix Wright crossover on YouTube. Like, you can watch it if you like either of them. I haven't really watched My Little Pony, so I have no idea what I was going into there, but I think it was pretty nice. But it's a thing. The case is pretty fun, actually. And it has all this the weird things about Phoenix, right? I have no idea if it's like true to character or not, but I just find it funny because it drags Phoenix and the judge into the Pony Village. And it's even like 3 or 4 episodes. It's just hilarious. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. I mean, that thing is not bad. I mean, as I said, I don't have any interest in My Little Pony, but just for the Phoenix ride alone, and seeing him just be clueless in court, it is worth it. But only if you like really enjoy Phoenix Wright. Anyway, all I could hear her say was that one muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the instructors talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... Oh, it's that many? I couldn't remember. There's also another one with, I think it's Disgaea, which is kind of fun. I don't really know. It's like some sort of being in hell or something with, I think it's Disgaea. I'm not familiar with the series either. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Okay, yeah, it's Disgaea. Because, dude, I have no idea what it's all about, but yeah, that's a thing. Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory is like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see me, Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. So she used her cell phone. Indeed, but the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. How could you see that if you were on the other side of the wall, though? You couldn't have seen this. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction in your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Edward's always done with everything. Ahem. Look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that is true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back of this backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's quite simple, Your Honor. She is not coughing up lunch, She's coughing up lies.